Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me. Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Made-for-TV spectacle. The infectious, contagious president emerged from Marine One, climbed the South Portico staircase, pulled off his mask, and walked into the building unmasked, risking exposure to anyone in his path. A reckless and senseless act from the leader of the free world, matched in words by this baffling pronouncement Monday on Twitter. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. That tweet landing just hours before the U.S. surpassed 210,000 deaths from COVID. Oh! More now from CNN's Caitlin Collins.
Yeah, Christine and Laura, it was just 72 hours after the president went to Walter Reed that he made this dramatic return to the White House. It involved him climbing up the stairs and removing his mask in front of live television cameras as he lingered there for several moments before trying to go back into the White House and then coming back out so a camera crew that was waiting inside could shoot his entrance back into the White House.
Oh my God.
It was in a video that he later posted on Twitter where he downplayed coronavirus and his diagnosis with it that came just a few days ago as the president was trying to say you cannot let it dominate American life. Not mentioning that he is on steroids and another drug that very few Americans have actually been able to get access to in the United States, those who have coronavirus, and a team of doctors at Walter Reed that were treating him and are going to closely monitor him over the next several days. Christine and Laura, he's also returning to a very different White House where his daughter, Ivanka Trump, will not be there for a few days because she's quarantining at home, even though she tested negative because she did come into contact with people who tested positive. Of course, his Hope Hicks is not there, his body man's not there, 2 press aides aren't there, and Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany will not be there either because she is working remotely after testing positive for coronavirus, something that she did while as she continued to come to the White House despite having come into contact with Hope Hicks and being informed of such. She continued to brief reporters while she wasn't wearing a mask, and now she'll be working from home for the next several days as she goes through this diagnosis of coronavirus. And it's really making staffers inside the West Wing a little nervous to come to work, to not know if the people they're interacting with are truly negative, even if they've tested negative. And it's created a really different environment in the West Wing than we've seen any other time during this pandemic.
The president of the United States is literally a contagion. He is literally a contagion who stood on a balcony last night, removed his mask while he was COVID positive, expressing symptoms of COVID, and then stood on a balcony like so many other dictators have. Saddam Hussein, Benito Mussolini. Now they're calling him Trumpolini. They're calling him Donald Trumpolini now. I mean, he looked like Benito Mussolini last night, except for the fact that Mussolini was not gasping for air, usually. He didn't pound his chest the way Mussolini used to because I think it would have caved in, is what I think. Hey, if we have any addiction specialists out there, can somebody tell me like what happens, you know, to people when they start mixing steroids and Adderall? Because that I don't know. I have tried the steroids. I told you, yes, they make you feel like Superman without any possibility of kryptonite. I mean, it's just if I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? It's just so apparently his meth lab base really relates to him now. Now they really love him. Now they're like so in the tank for him. But I have to tell you, the president is a walking contagion who is tripping. He's literally tripping on steroids. So we have Trump on steroids. I mean, this was like the biggest fear that we all had was, you know, Donald Trump on steroids. And this is exactly, I mean, it's not even an exaggeration. We have Donald Trump on steroids. That is what we have. Because God ran out of locusts. That's the only conclusion you can come to. Now, they used to call Mussolini Il Duce, but this is Il Douchey. He is literally infecting, and 400 people work at the White House. 400 housekeepers, staffers, valets, laundresses. I mean, and they're all terrified. Every last one of them is terrified, and they won't say anything. Do you know why? Everybody? First of all, they value their discretion is why they're there. It's why they're hired. They don't. I mean, I'm sure they have thoughts about politics, but they don't share them. They don't speak to the press ever. But also, if they get fired, they lose their pensions. You see what I mean? So they're just terrified. Though the White House is literally it's dark, it's dank. That you've got them fumigating the press room, which is dark today. There's no one there. Press reporters don't want to show up because Ninny Head got 2 of her aides sick with COVID. Kayleigh McEnany, she knew she had COVID, and she still continued to brief the press without a mask. And 2 of her aides got sick. Donald Trump's body man tested positive. We got 3 senators so far. I mean, this is just so unbelievable. I think there's 12 people around. He is a super spreader. He is a walking contagion. He is literally walking around, and he can't breathe. I mean, I don't know if you saw this last night, but when he took his face mask off, he stood there, and you could see his chest rising, and his shoulders. You can see him gasping for air. And people are going, well, if you walked up 23 steps, wouldn't you be gasping for air? No, and I'm a freaking smoker. Okay, so the answer is no, and he doesn't smoke, according to him. So what is this? Look at this. I mean, he's obvious. And here's Rudy. Rudy's coughing, too.
And I don't wear masks as much as probably I should. And I haven't gotten COVID either. And a lot of
Mayor,
people...
you heard Joe Biden there. He says if the scientists say it's okay, he is...
that Joe
I know that everybody questions the polls, but pretty consistently...
I need video of Bill Barr. I need proof of life from Bill Barr right now. But, I mean, think about where we are. We're going to have an election with Donald Trump on steroids. I don't even, he says he's looking forward to the next debate. Can you imagine how backcrap crazy, how nutty this man is going to get if he's on his, a generous dose of steroids now? He'll be yelling at himself. He'll be throwing things. And by things, I mean his own poop. The man is just so completely tripped out on steroids. He is really, really high. And he put out this announcement yesterday. Oh, my God. He thinks he's invincible because that is what steroids do to you. That is how they make you feel. So he posted this video, and he filmed the whole arrival. And he had ground crews. He had ground camera crews. The man is a reality TV star. That is what he is. That is who you elected. That is why people are addicted to him, because they like reality TV. Okay, these are the people who watch Duck Dynasty. Okay. And they, and wrestling, and they think it's real. Not the people who watch wrestling and know it's fake, but the people who watch it and still think it's real. Donald Trump is nothing. He is nothing but a reality TV star. That is what he is. And you could tell yesterday because he had camera crews on the ground filming Marine One flying, using all the powers of his presidency, and filming it all, and then filming him walking up the stairs. Then he had a camera crew, and if you see the poor camera crew, they're standing right behind him. And then he had a camera crew film him walking up the stairs. He had a camera crew waiting for him inside the White House, because he's a reality TV star. And then as soon as he went into the White House, he filmed a video for Twitter saying, maybe now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. You will never be better. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.